Hello again. Our next lesson is for me to show you how to do the sphere. This is a great lesson that you can integrate to your math concept. You can use a compass, a ruler, or an angle. You can show your students the diameter of a circle and the radius. But I'm not going to do that. But this is just an idea that you can use for your math classes. A great concept piece. I'm just going to freehand everything, and then I'm going to show you the value. Again, the value is the range from lightness to darkness. Keeping your lines together for a good value instead of having your lines separate for incorrect value. Before I begin, let me show you some demonstrations that were done by my prior students. Here's this example. And the last example is here. And the whole point of this is to learn the value going from dark to light. This concept you can apply it using pencil, color, into your work. It's the same concept, light and dark. For this assignment, I'm going to be using several pencils. I'm going to be using my light mechanical pencil. I'm going to be using these drawing pencils so I can get a range of light and dark. And also, don't forget your brush and don't forget your eraser, just in case we make mistakes. I'm not going to use the blending tools, but you're welcome to use them if you have them. Again, if you don't have blending tools, you can use Q-tips, tissue paper, or your actual finger itself. Let's get started. First thing we want to do, we want to create a circle. That's the first step. To do that, we're going to come to the middle of the paper. Create a semicircle at the top, and then from there, this is where I recommend, rotate your pencil as you go. Sorry, rotate your paper as you go. And as you go, do semicircles like I am doing. Next thing we want to do, we want to adjust the lines. We want to take off the unwanted lines. That way we have a nice solid line. Brush it away, and pretty much I have the basic skeleton. I'm just going to come back and start adjusting the line. Should be okay. What I recommend as a math integrated lesson that you can apply is using a compass, using your measurements. It's a great tool for learning math. Now, next thing we want to do, we want to do some guidelines. We want to draw a guideline for our reflected light, which is this line here, the light side, and the actual shadow itself. So we're going to do that first. First thing we want to do, we want to go somewhere, not really in the middle of your circle. We're going to go a little bit off the center, and we're going to draw a semicircle inside, like so. And as always, adjust your line. Next thing we want to do, we want to create the light side or the highlighted side. This is where the light is coming from. If the light was coming from here, then everything will change. This will be at the bottom, this will be here, as opposed here as well. So we're going to pretend the light source is coming from this angle. So here is where the light is hitting. We also have to kind of lightly draw another line over here on the edge of the circle itself. This area here, this small area, will stay completely white. Now, next thing we want to do, we want to create shadows. We have 2 shadows. To do the shadows, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to roughly go out like so. You can actually measure the distance between here and here. Again, a great lesson for math. You're going to use a ruler to teach your students how to use either the metric or the inches. But I'm going to just freehand it. Now I'm going to finish it off. To finish it off, we have to curve it here. And again, I'm going to go about here. Like so. Now, we need to draw the other shadow that's inside. Now we're ready for the nitty-gritty. Now we're going to start shading. Now, what we want to do first, I'm going to come back and just use my normal drawing pencils. Again, if you don't have drawing pencils, just use your regular pencil. Apply pressure to the pencil to make it darker. The less pressure you apply, you're going to make it lighter. I'm going to go with my HB pencil. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to come back. And what you want to do first is from here to here, you want to do a medium value. But before we do a medium value, you want to come back and lightly do the shading. Keep your lines together. The other key is to go with the shape of the spear. So as you go up, you want to go in a semicircle fashion. If you go flat, like this, the circle will not look like a spear. That's our intention, is to make this two-dimensional object look three-dimensional on a flat surface. Rotate your paper if you need to. Also, what I recommend is to rotate your pencil to keep your point sharp. Do the same if you're using color pencils. Don't forget to go in circles to blend your lines. Next step we want to do, we're going to come back and create the medium value, starting with this line here. So I'm going to apply more pressure. I'm just going to do this top part, I'm not going to do the whole thing. Now what we want to do now, after you do your medium value, we want to come back and just start getting lighter as we go towards the edge of the source of light. Now, for my personal taste, once I get closer to the light side, I switch to my mechanical pencil so I can get a bit lighter value. Remember, the less pressure you apply, the lighter the value. Now what I'm going to do first, I'm going to lightly erase the outside of my light side, or the highlighted side. That way I don't see those lines. Remember to go with the shape of the spear. And what I recommend go two different directions. Go ahead and do this part as well. Remember, this is the light side, so try to avoid touching it. You want to keep it as paper white as possible. So I'm switching my paper over. Again, I'm only going to do this small area. Now, next thing we want to do, we want to go a tad darker on this area here. To do that, I'm going to come back with my 4B pencil and create a medium dark value. So I'm going to come back here on this line here that I created. Come back and start adding a darker value. You don't want to go too dark with this value. Tad dark on the line itself.